Good evening, friends. So, last time we saw what are the various ways in which alcohol and tobacco kill and impact the quality of life. We'll quickly revise it and then we will go to today's topic of myths which surround these substances. So, we saw that besides liver cirrhosis and accidents, there are many ways in which alcohol kills. They include heart attacks and strokes because of atherosclerosis, and the arteries narrow up and finally get blocked. The immunity goes down, and various infectious diseases are there. Like tobacco, it causes a lot of cancers as well. Then 18% murders, 18% suicides just because of alcohol. Also, 26% oral cancer deaths, 20% TB deaths, 13% epilepsy deaths, 12% drowning deaths are because of alcohol. A lot of these are young deaths, while a lot of active years are still left. And similarly, tobacco is responsible for 1 in 5 male premature deaths occurring before the age of 70. That comes to 80 lakh deaths worldwide, one death every 4 seconds. In India, that is 13 lakh deaths every year. How does it kill? Again, it's not just oral cancers, but cancers of various parts of the body. 25% of the cancer cases are just because of tobacco, and heart attacks and strokes because of, again, atherosclerosis. And tobacco kills more people through heart attacks and strokes compared to through cancers. And when you smoke cigarette or bidi, the lungs get damaged, leading to various diseases which decrease the capability of the lungs to oxygenate the blood. And there are respiratory infections like TB, pneumonia, etc. Then we saw 10 ways in which it impairs the quality of your life, causes multiple disabling diseases. Even your mental health is impaired, health is wealth. And people start these substances to become happy, but it actually increases the prevalence of anxiety and depression because of the withdrawal symptoms and because of the socioeconomic damage it causes to people. Then we saw it can lead to erectile disturbance. Then we saw that the physical stamina decreases because your lungs are damaged, your heart is damaged, your arteries of hands and legs constrict. Then it's a huge financial loss. Your work efficiency also decreases and your attractiveness also decreases. So मर्दांगी के जितने भी पैरामीटर है हर एक को फटका बैठता है. तो अगर मर्दांगी को कुछ होता है तो मर्दांगी कम होती है. And then we saw how people become slave. People start to enjoy, but they continue because if they stop, they get withdrawal symptoms. And gradually, the need keeps increasing, what we call tolerance. And there is a strong desire to take these substances because of the high it gives. Does it give a high? Absolutely, it does. But then that results in craving as well. And gradually, you lose interest in other things. And the only thing which makes sense is alcohol. दारू नहीं है तो क्या पार्टी है? फिर कोई पार्टी नहीं. No other way of enjoying remains as exciting because the craving for this supersedes everything else. So, craving, tolerance, and withdrawal are physiological properties of alcohol, tobacco, ganja, brown sugar, meth, and various addictive substances. It is not a question of your willpower. Even smart people, even people with great willpowers who touch these substances do get addicted. It can happen to anyone. And once a person gets addicted, he and his family has to cry a lot before he may be able to quit. So the smart thing is to not touch an addictive substance even once. Then we saw the MRI that the brain is shrunken because the gray matter, the brain shrinks. So if you wouldn't like to damage your brain, then it is nice to think of healthy ways of recreation. And we saw that at least before 21 years, we shouldn't be doing it because then that way there is long-term damage to the brain in a growing brain, and that can result in decreased academic and work performance, as well as a much higher chance of getting addicted. And then these act as gateway drugs. They spoil your company, they spoil your friends, they spoil your lifestyle, and they can introduce you to more hard drugs, which can harm your life in bigger ways as well. And lastly, even the family gets harmed because of passive smoking, domestic violence, financial loss, fetal alcohol syndrome, etc. Now, so I would like to give you a one important finding of a very big study. Some people believe that alcohol tobacco harms a few people, but for majority people, it just brings happiness. Really doesn't harm much. It's completely okay to party. But friends, look at this study. As per Global Burden of Disease, Injuries and Risk Factors Study 2019, out of the 5 most important risk factors for disease burden in the young age group of 25 to 49, alcohol was the most common risk factor. High blood pressure second, being overweight third, and smoking was the fourth risk factor. So the point is, are these very popular? Are these very common? Do a lot of people take it? Yes. But because of that, it is the cause of suffering in a lot of people as well. So it is common, but if you also want to suffer, it's okay. But otherwise, you can give it a second thought. So why are, in spite of it being the most common risk factor for disease burden in the young age group, why is it still popular? Like we saw, because of some lack of awareness, because people get addicted, because of advertising, and because of some misconceptions. So today we are going to understand some of the misconceptions better. So first misconception is, in moderation, it is good for the heart, right? A lot of you would have heard this. Is it true? So, yes, there are some studies which have observed that in smaller quantities taken daily, alcohol is good for the heart. But then there are other studies which say that even when taken in smaller quantities, it is harmful for the heart. But these studies will never come in newspaper. They will never be popularized. Only the first category of studies will be popularized because that's what the industry is interested in. So the evidence on this is not conclusive. Different studies say different things. Point one. Second, there were a lot of methodological flaws in many of the studies which make this claim. And there are many meta-analyses which put the studies together. And many of them say that if you remove the faulty studies, then the claim doesn't really hold true. It may be interesting for you to know that International Center on Alcohol Policy, which funds a lot of alcohol research, is started and funded by the alcohol industry. So we can't blindly trust each study which comes on this subject. Third, various studies say various things, but at least a multicentric Indian study says that at least in Indians, even occasional drinking was harmful or increased the risk of heart attack more compared to not drinking at all. And regular alcohol users had a much higher risk. The American Heart Association, in order to remove the confusion, issues a warning on their website that this claim is not proven and the potential risks far outweigh the claimed benefits, and it is not possible to predict in which person alcoholism will become a problem. Hence, we caution people, do not start drinking for unproven health benefits. And if you really want to protect your heart, there are many proven ways like not smoking, healthy stress management, eating healthy, regular exercise, etc. And regarding alcohol, there is some debate. But regarding cancers, the evidence is clearly out that even moderate drinking of just 1 or 2 drinks per day was responsible for more than 1 lakh cancer cases in 2020. And of course, if the quantity of consumption is more, the risk of getting cancer is much higher. Second misconception, कि भाई beer is not alcohol. ये तो जव का पानी है. Okay, is it true? So yes, beer is mild alcohol. It is of course milder compared to spirits like vodka, whiskey, rum, but it is also alcohol. So there are broadly 3 types of alcohol. One is beer, breezer, etc., which are 3 to 5% alcohol. Then there is wine, which is around 15 to 12 to 15% alcohol. And then there is vodka, rum, country liquor, tequila, narangi, sarangi, and all the rest, which are called as spirits. And that is 40% alcohol. So yes, beer is mild. However, 2 important points. Because beer is milder, A typical drink of beer is also larger. So one drink of vodka is only 30 ml, whereas one drink of beer is around 200 to 225 ml. And one drink of vodka and one drink of beer have the same quantity of alcohol in it. They're equally harmful. So 30 ml of beer is less harmful than 30 ml of vodka, but 200 ml of beer is equally harmful as 30 ml of vodka. And second, most people start their drinking journey with beer, but after some time, the beer doesn't give them a high and they gradually move on to vodka. So even if you believe vodka is bad, but people start with beer and go there. So it is silly to believe that beer is not alcohol. Another belief is that if I drink responsibly, then it is safe to drink. I'm an educated person. So, friends, as a psychiatrist, when someone gets addicted and comes to us, we explain to the family, don't hate the person. He's not a bad person. He's not doing it intentionally. Addiction is a disease, it can happen to anyone. And, friends, I believe rather than giving this gyan after a person gets addicted, I better give this gyan to you all that it can happen to anyone. No one intentionally destroys one's life. कि आज ना मैं बहुत पी के वो वाली गटर में जाके सोएगा या आई वांट टू ड्रिंक अ लॉट एंड आई वांट टू लूज ऑल माय मनी एंड डिस्ट्रॉय माय करियर एवरीवन वांट्स टू ड्रिंक इन कंट्रोल इन पार्टीज but because this is an addictive substance around 15% just get addicted and another around 15% start drinking excessively though not fully addicted. As we had seen last time, in India, around 35.5% drinkers develop a harmful alcohol use pattern. So, some of you will say, अच्छा मैं सिर्फ पार्टी में पिएगा, कंट्रोल में पिएगा, या मैं पार्टीज में ही पिएगा, तो am I safe? So as I said, first risk is कि you can get addicted after a few years, but let's assume you are not addicted. You're just drinking in parties. Then are you safe? Then what is usually seen is out of the party drinkers, around 40 to 50% start drinking at least occasionally in binge pattern, which is 4 or more drinks in women or 5 or more drinks on a single day in men. And is binge drinking harmful? Absolutely yes. A lot of accidents are not done by addicts. They're done by people who enjoy in parties. Okay. So I'll give you 2, 3 examples. I used to go to eat at a particular lady's home when I was in Pune doing my MBBS. And that lady's husband was a nice husband. He was not an addict. She was happy with him. He was a good husband. But he had a good government job. There was a lot of money. They used to regularly have parties. On one particular day, while returning from a party, he lost balance. And then he um, ended up with an accident. He was in the ICU for 20 days. There was a 10 lakhs bill. And because he was intoxicated, the mediclaim was not sanctioned. And then she had to pay from her pocket. And then he died. So the earning member was gone and she started a mess at her home. And that is where we used to go to eat. So one day of party changed life for the whole family, right? A medical student in a particular college, they were returning from a party. They dashed against a pole, had got decapitated, other side of the road, instant death. There was a particular auto driver. So he got a job in Dubai. So his friend said, congrats, party. He said, of course, yes. So then there was a party, and then in the morning, they were going back, and he couldn't judge at the turn well. Accident, both his legs were cut, engagement cancel, job cancel, life change. I have personally come to know of innumerable examples wherein one day of party can just ruin your own life if you are lucky or someone else's life. And then you have to spend the whole life in the guilt of it. That how did I end up doing something so stupid? But that happens when people get intoxicated in parties. Then, of course, there are behavioral problems under intoxication. Under intoxication, do we behave smart or do we behave extra smart? So our thinking brain gets knocked off and we feel cool and we do stupid things which we make fun of. कि हाँ party में मजा आया. We become carefree. We become disinhibited. But in our disinhibition, we message silly things, we say silly things, and which people can get hurt of. And though it is not our true personality, but लोगों को लगता है कि दारू पी के बोला मतलब अंदर का सच बाहर आया है, वो उसकी हकीकत है. And therefore, many years they will show that photo to people, whatever you have sent, they will show to people and say, this is his true self. So your hard-earned respect can be squandered with one day of party. Example, in one of our medical continued education parties, the HOU of a particular department, under the intoxicated state, started shouting with a girl's name, and that girl had to cry and leave the party. And next day onwards, I don't know how did that doctor face his department. I'm not sure. So, and besides that, of course, I had gone to a marriage party and it was a outstation party. So in the welcome packet, there was paracetamol which was given. And I was scratching my head. Why is the paracetamol in the welcome kit? And I realized that paracetamol is because people are going to get drunk and the next day they will get a headache. And that's for that. Wow. So a lot of work absenteeism and lot of health hazards also happen because of just binge drinking, even if you're not addicted and drinking daily. And therefore, in my opinion, party drinking also doesn't make sense. Another new thing which has come up now is e-cigarettes and nicotine gums. So let's understand what these things are. Because tobacco has nicotine in it, which is highly addictive. People who start tobacco use for experimentation get trapped and they are not able to quit no matter how hard they try. Many of them get stuck. So then doctors have said, hey, chalo baba, you can't quit tobacco, we will give you nicotine, but at least don't take tobacco. Because tobacco has 70 carcinogens. So you are taking it for nicotine, so we will give you nicotine, don't take tobacco. So the harm is decreased by 90%. But nicotine is also harmful, but definitely less harmful than tobacco. But it is also harmful and it is equally addictive. And then nicotine gums and nicotine patches are a medicalized form. They come in dosage. So it is easier to gradually taper them. So first a 21 milligram patch is given, then 14, then 7, then stop. Similarly, gums are initially given once every 1 or 2 hours, then once every 3, 4 hours, then once every 4, 6 hours and stop. So these make it easier to taper and stop. So for people who want to stop tobacco but are not able to stop it, nicotine gums and nicotine patches can help. That is what they are. Now, they are not meant for people who are not addicted already. If people who are addicted take it, it may help them to stop. But if people like you who are not addicted take it, then you will get addicted to tobacco or to nicotine. And evidence says that kids who take e-cigarettes or nicotine gums, later on the risk that they will start tobacco is much higher because now you are addicted to nicotine. Okay. So for those who don't take tobacco, nicotine gums and patches are definitely not safe. And what is e-cigarette? E-cigarette is nicotine in a fluid. Now that is not even recommended to stop tobacco by many countries, including India, including WHO. Okay. So why? Because e-cigarettes, some cigarette smokers say, okay, we are unable to stop smoking tobacco. We want a relatively less harmful alternative. So we want e-cigarettes. So some countries have allowed it because they are less harmful, though they are harmful, but they are less harmful than cigarettes. So some countries have allowed it. But some countries say that if you want to stop, then you better take nicotine gum or patch. And you please don't continue because it may be safer for you. But kids, because the companies market these e-cigarettes to kids as something very hi-fi, kids are getting trapped. And WHO doesn't want that. India doesn't want that. And therefore, e-cigarettes are banned in our country. They are also harmful. Now, also, cigarettes have been around for a long time. So a lot of studies have been done and its harmful effects are proven. E-cigarettes are relatively new. So it has only nicotine, it doesn't have tobacco, but it has other chemicals, and some of them are known to be harmful. So in the long term, when e-cigarettes are around for a longer time, those studies will happen and we will come to know. As yet, long-term studies are not there, but they are also equally addictive. Then comes the other thing. Okay, tobacco is bad, but cannabis is safe. Cannabis is the English word for ganja. Okay. Is that true? Then friends, you may be surprised to know that out of all the addictive substances, the risk for making you mad, for creating a psychotic illness, which means you start hearing voices which are not there. You start believing in things which are not true. Example, aliens have come to attack Earth and they are going to attack me, or someone is trying to kill me, and things like that, which are not true. So the risk of creating psychotic illness is highest for cannabis among all the addictive substances. In fact, a study done in Finland over adolescents, it was seen that those adolescent youngsters who had taken cannabis just 5 or more times had a 6.5 times higher risk of developing a psychotic illness in the next 15 years. So one is psychosis. Second is like under alcohol intoxication, a lot of accidents happen. Under cannabis intoxication also, a lot of accidents happen. And then it's an addicted lifestyle. Like once you are addicted to alcohol, you end up spending a lot of time just drinking and in the hangover. This time wasted in addiction is much higher for cannabis because you linger in that zone for a much longer time. Then there are some very popular misconceptions about cannabis. One is that it is not addictive. Friends, as of today, there are 72 lakh Indians who have problematic cannabis use, whose life is getting impacted, and they are in need of medical help. So it is a misconception that cannabis is not addictive. Second, cannabis is used for some treatment of medical conditions also. So it is safe. Friends, brown sugar or heroin as we know. So a medicalized form of brown sugar is also used in the treatment of cancer because it can kill pain when no other medicines can kill the pain. But does that make brown sugar safe? Does that make heroin safe? Similarly, there are few specific conditions in which medicalized forms of cannabis are taken. Example, for nausea and vomiting of cancer therapy, for loss of appetite in AIDS patients, for neuropathic pain, and for some specific diseases like multiple sclerosis or Lennox-Gastaut syndrome. Do you have any of these? And if not, then cannabis is of no use for you. So most people who take cannabis thinking that it is good for sleep or for this or for that are completely wrong indications, and that is really not proven. So the utility of cannabis for most of the simpler medical conditions which people think are not proven, but the potential harmful consequences of cannabis are fully proven. Another belief is cannabis improves creativity. Now, as I said, cannabis can lead to psychosis after some time. But even the first, second time you take it and you are intoxicated, people start hearing things which are not true. And it alters your perception. Example, colors appear brighter than what they are. Music sounds more melodious than what it is. And hence people believe that they have become more creative. But actually that performance goes down. Like under alcohol intoxication, your performance goes down. And similarly, under cannabis intoxication, your performance actually goes down. And another interesting thing about cannabis is those who regularly take cannabis, many of them, after a few years, develop something called as cannabis amotivation syndrome. You can Google up to understand more. In this, people are amotivated and sit the whole day on their bed doing nothing. Painters don't want to paint, cricketers don't want to play anything. They just sit the whole day doing nothing. Something which can kill your motivation to do anything. That is the seat of creativity. What bigger misconception can be there? But like when tobacco was introduced, it was promoted as a substance which promotes health. Similarly, now that tobacco use is going down, cannabis is being promoted by the sellers in a big way as a safe and healthy alternative, which is a complete bluff. Next, some people often say कि मेरे गांव में एक बंदा था जो जिंदगी भर दारू लिया, तंबाकू लिया, फिर भी 90 साल तक जिया. And there are many others who don't take anything but die early. Then that means it's all okay to drink and smoke. Friends, an example I would give is, if you wear a helmet, is there any guarantee that you won't die? And if you don't wear a helmet, is there any guarantee that you will die? No. So should we conclude that whether you wear a helmet or you don't wear a helmet, it doesn't make any difference? Exceptions will be there to any rule. But what is the common norm? What does evidence say? Then there are huge studies done on thousands of people which have conclusively proven that if you take tobacco or alcohol, you die on an average 10 years earlier. And it is because of solid evidence like this that courts have forced the tobacco companies to write on their packets, tobacco kills. Now, in spite of such strong evidence, if someone wants to fool himself, they can do it. But the biggest evidence is oral cancer is a relatively rare cancer, but in India, it is the most common cancer because of our love for oral tobacco and supari. So, of course, tobacco is not the only cause of cancer. There are many other causes. So, there are people who are not taking alcohol, tobacco will also die. But these are preventable deaths. And they have, for example, like we saw last time, okay, out of all the other causes of cancers, together are 75%, and tobacco alone is 25% of cancer cases. So, some children, their friends tell them, they put some solution type of substance in a handkerchief and they inhale it. And they tell their friends, "Arey, bahut acha lagta hai, le le." And then they believe it is not a very harmful thing and they inhale. But it is equally or even more addictive. There are children whom the parents have to lock up and keep at home while they go to work. Because if they leave them, if they open the door and they don't lock the door, then they can't control themselves and they keep inhaling that solution throughout the day. The solution damages their brain. They are unable to focus on studies. They're unable to do anything. And does it make them feel high? Yes, but it destroys their life. It just makes you fully addicted and it damages your lungs as well. So, friends, I just want to caution you. Okay, just like tobacco, alcohol, pan masala, if someone puts some sort of solution in the handkerchief and gives you to inhale, that also should not be done. Okay.
Doctor, what kind of solutions are we talking about here? For example, like what?
Right. I don't want to give you example because you are a smart girl. But if I give you the names, some of your friends who are not as smart as you, they may actually go and buy those things and inhale it. I don't want that. I will just tell you that there are some compounds which are available. So if you see someone inhaling something and saying that this is very good, don't take it. It's not good for you.
Okay.
Okay? Okay. Another common misconception is it's an effective stress buster. गम का साथी दारू. तो मेरी गर्लफ्रेंड मुझे छोड़ के चली गई तो क्या करने का? दारू पीने का. So if I start drinking, will my girlfriend come back? दूसरी गर्लफ्रेंड भी नहीं मिलेगी, right? So when we take alcohol to deal with our stress, we are not solving anything. We are just knocking off our brain's ability to think and feeling हाँ tension नहीं है. But tension वहीं का वहीं है. And because you don't think about it, the tension keeps growing and keeps getting bigger and bigger. So when the loan is 10,000 and you start drinking, to forget it, that 10,000 becomes 20, 50, 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, unsolvable, suicide. A big cause of farmer deaths is alcohol use, which complicates their financial mess. Okay. So alcohol and tobacco are unhealthy ways of dealing with your stress, which just create an illusion of wellness but actually your stress keeps getting complicated. So, what is smartness? You being able to actively face your challenges and overcome them, or you needing the crutches of alcohol and tobacco to feel momentarily happy? You not having enough coping skills in life. What do you think is a true sign of smartness? Another related misconception would be that taking alcohol, solution, tobacco, or any of these substances gives a lot of happiness. Does it give you joy? Momentary joy, absolutely it does. It gives a huge dopamine high. Yes, it makes you feel happy. However, this is meaningless happiness. For example, if you want to become happy, you have to work hard and you get a good rank, or you become good in sports, or you become good in drawing. People appreciate you, you feel happy. You become successful, you feel happy. But compared to this, you don't have to do anything. Just throw some money, smoke or drink, and you feel, oh, I am the king of life. Wow, 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 I am great. So this is a very easy way to feel big and happy in life, but this is meaningless, right? That is point one. And point two, when your brain gets habituated for such easy highs, will it be left with the motivation to apply yourself persistently over any meaningful thing? Your real life achievements start dropping, and you no longer feel interested in any other hobby or any other activity because they can't give you a similar high. So actually you may have seen that people who get addicted just gather at one place, keep smoking, drinking, and that's their life. Do you really think those are happier people? Do you think really that they feel great about their lives? So I can give you example of a doctor. So he had signed my internship completion certificate, but by the time I completed my psychiatry, he was seen begging around in the campus. He used to go, he was a very senior doctor. So he used to go to his professor friends, and the professor would tell the peon, वो बेवड़ा आया तो उसको बाहर निकाल देने का, अंदर आने नहीं देने का. So for many years, alcohol may have helped him enjoy and celebrate in parties. But today it has taken away his profession, his skills, his social respect, everything. So is it really worth it to, for some momentary meaningless joy, to just destroy your life? So I'm not here to tell you कि थोड़ा कम happy रहो but सुखी रहो. I mean healthy रहो. I'm here to tell you, friends, I want you to be happy today as well as in the long run. I want you to be more happy, and therefore I encourage you to enjoy life through more constructive ways. Be it sports, music, dance, drawing, trekking, meditation, thousands of meaningful ways to be happy. Please choose one of them. Then your happiness will be more long lasting. Now, as we saw last time, that why do people take? Because when you see that some doctors also drink, chacha, mama, nana, kaka drinks, presidents of country drink, it can start feeling normal. ठीक है, उतना बुरा नहीं होगा, सभी ले रहे तो, right? So friends, just because something is normal, does it become, sorry, common, does it become normal? So female feticide is common in our country. Should we start regarding it normal? Child labor is common in our country. Should we start regarding it to be normal? Just because something is common, should it be normal? Or do we also see that this common thing is helping the society or harming the society? If it's helping the society, it's our culture, and with pride we can continue it. But if it's harming the society, should we not all get together and work towards uprooting it from our society at the earliest? So, what do you think? Alcohol, tobacco are harming us more or helping us more? Second, it would be nice to know that even though they are very common, even as of today, with all the marketing and everything, even today, more than half the world's population does not touch addictive substances. Interesting fact is that tobacco fence doesn't need to be, a farm doesn't need to be fenced, because even animals realize this is not something to be eaten. They don't even attempt to eat it. So it doesn't need to be fenced. Only human beings think that it is okay to take this addictive poison. Yes, some doctors, celebrities, and successful people also drink and smoke, but then many of them get harmed also. As you may have known, Kapil Sharma's alcohol addiction led to his show shutting down. Luckily, he could quit and the show again started. Actor called Piyush Mishra. Recently in Gangs of Wasepur, he was there and his career finally lifted. But 20 years back, he was given the role of Salman Khan in Maine Pyar Kiya. But because he was addicted at that time, he couldn't handle the responsibilities and he refused the role. Just imagine if alcohol was not there in his life. Probably his life would have been very different. So there are many celebrities who have said how alcohol has harmed them. Example, Javed Akhtar openly says, I have a regret. People say I'm a smart man, but actually I have done such a blunder. I have wasted around 10 years of my life in just drinking. If I was not doing that, I could have achieved so much more. So now, because it's common, a lot of your friends may force you, and it is important to know how to deal with peer pressure. So I'm going to give you some tips which you keep in mind that will help you confidently say no. But the most important thing is to understand, why do friends force? Any guesses? Why do why do people force their friends to drink and smoke? What I mean is, if someone sees a good film, he will come and recommend you. कि अरे अच्छा फिल्म है, देखना देखना. Will he tell you, नहीं तू मेरा फ्रेंड है तो देखना ही पड़ेगा, मैं तेरा पैसा भरेगा, देखना ही पड़ेगा, नहीं तो दोस्ती कट. Will he do that? He won't. But for an alcohol and tobacco, he will do that. Why would he do that? Any guesses?
To make himself feel better.
Yes. Because if I am taking alcohol and none of you are taking alcohol, then I am a spoiled boy. But if I am taking alcohol and all of you are taking alcohol, then all of us are cool and smart. Okay. So forcing the peer group to also take it removes the sense of guilt that I am doing something unhealthy, something harmful. So friends, be clear. Just because 4 or 5 people get together and force you doesn't mean they are doing the right thing and you are doing the wrong thing. Okay. Believe in your healthy choice. That's the most important thing. If they are proud of taking an addictive poison, but you're ashamed of not taking that, then you wouldn't be able to last long. But if you're proud of your healthy choice, then no one will be able to force you to take it. They will realize, yahan dal nahi galne wali hai. Okay. So believe in it and be proud. Then if they still force you, what do? You look into their eyes confidently and say a bold no. अगर शर्मा शर्मा के ना बोला, नहीं 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 मम्मी मारेगी रहने देना, then you are gone. You have to look in the eye and confidently say, I don't do this. What should you say? It's your decision. You can tell your true reason. Example, you may say, okay, I have seen some people in my family get harmed and I don't want to repeat the same mistake. So I've decided I'm never going to touch it. You can say, ki, people who take it died 10 years earlier, I don't want it. You can say that alcohol, tobacco are one of the most common causes of impotence. I don't want my wife, my future wife, to regret that she married me. Or whatever is your reason, you can say that. Or you can give an excuse that in my religion, it is not allowed. Or you can say, my mother has given me a promise that I will never touch it. You decide what you want to say, but decide and keep. If you have decided and kept, then it will be easier for you to tell it when your friends force you. Okay. Then supposingly you say no, but they still keep on forcing you. Then what should you do? First, don't try to answer each stupid argument they make, because they are going to make crazy arguments. It's not your responsibility to convince them why you don't want to do it. It's their responsibility to convince you. So don't try to answer each stupid argument. Just hold on to your statement in short. So for example, they say, are you not a scientific person? How can you say even without trying it once? According to me, it's an addictive thing. I'm not going to touch it even once. Oh, you are not courageous. According to me, it's an addictive thing. I'm not going to touch it even once. Hey, if you're a true friend now, you should take it. According to me, it's an addictive thing. I'm not going to touch it even once. So you don't need to answer each stupid argument. You just stand to what your stand is. And if they still keep forcing, you must leave the place and go. Because don't underestimate the power of a peer group. Man is a social animal, and we all have a need to keep our friends happy. So if they're forcing, you will give in because most people give in. So if your friends don't respect your right to choose to make a healthy choice, leave the place and go, at least for that time. Then you may say, "Ke bhai, then I will lose those friends." Then I will tell you, if your friends cannot tolerate you living a healthy life, a happy life, then you better lose those friends. Because India is an overpopulated country and everything is there. I mean, everything is in short supply other than people. If you maintain your life, then today or tomorrow, you will find healthy friends who will respect you and help you lead a healthy and happy life. So you may say that no, overall they are good people. Then you can try to answer them uh, if they are not forcing too much. If they say, okay, are you not, should we not enjoy? Then you say, I'm not saying no to enjoying. I'm just saying no to alcohol. We can enjoy by going to this, we can do this, we can do this. Dance party, why not? But why drink and forget all that? Why go in hangover? Why not be in full consciousness and remember those happy memories, right? So I'm not saying no to friendship. I'm saying no to alcohol. Okay, so you can do that. And of course, if all your friends drink and smoke, then today or tomorrow you will do it. So choose your friends well, and you should have at least a few friends who know how to enjoy life in a happy way or in a healthy way. Sorry. And there is a good comparison of a thermometer and a thermostat. So as all of you know, what does a thermometer do? It tells you the temperature of the atmosphere. And what does the thermostat do? It decides what should be the temperature of a particular instrument. So most people are like thermometers. They do what people around them are doing. But some kids have the courage to be a thermostat. They decide what is right and they do that. And when they do that, other kids around them gather the courage. Okay, yes, we also believe this is right, and they do that. So if few of you in this class have the courage to be the thermostat and they do the right thing, then based on them, a positive peer pressure can also get shaped. So I hope some of you do have the power to be a thermostat. And some of you may be feeling, okay, all this is bad, we won't take it, but my father takes it, my uncle takes it, my friend takes it. How do I help them? So, yes, quitting is difficult, and therefore, the best thing is not to start even once. But if someone is addicted, that doesn't mean it is impossible to quit. There is help available, which makes it easier. There are medicines which decrease the withdrawal symptoms, which decrease the craving. Counseling is available on how to increase the motivation to quit, how to control craving, how to prevent a relapse. And there are de addiction centers, which provide a safe environment if a person is unable to quit staying at home. So, if someone is taking it, you can give them hope that help is available. Let's take help. So, where they can go to take help, they can either go to a psychiatrist or a counselor or a de addiction center or to any doctor working on this issue or to Alcoholic Anonymous. Alcoholic Anonymous is a group of people who have quit alcohol and who help new people to quit it for free. It is there throughout the world in all countries. And in India, in each town, there'll be 10, 20 centers. So you can call on this number 80970 and ask them, okay, what is the center near that person whom you want for? Near his place, which is the center, and then you can ask that person to go there. Now, some of you may feel, yes, I want to help him, but I am not sure how do I tell him? He will get angry. So I'm going to tell you a few tips. Point one, if you criticize him, he will get angry. But if you talk to him with respect, if you talk to him with concern, then he won't get angry. Okay? If you tell him, Akkal nahi kya gade, kitne saal piyega, he'll get angry. But if you say, that doctor had come to my school He said that people die 10 years earlier on an average. Ever since, I'm not able to sleep. I'm worried about you. I care for you. Please stop. So when you appeal out of concern and love, he won't get annoyed. He may or may not stop, but he won't get annoyed. And what will help you do this is if you understand that he's not a bad person, he's just a victim, he's not the culprit. Okay. So, like I'm saying, okay, if all of you, if some of your friends will start drinking and some of them will get addicted, and they're not any worse than others who chose to drink and did not get addicted, right? It is just luck who will get addicted and who won't. So when you express that understanding that I know that you are not bad, this substance is bad, and I know it is difficult to quit, but with help, you will be able to quit. So when you show that understanding and empathy, then they will listen to you. Another thing you can do is first listen to them. Why do they take? What are they taking? So then also it can become easier. Give hope and don't talk only about alcohol or tobacco each time you meet. Continue the positive interactions you are having, and every once in a while, keep appealing. After a few appeals, many of them will agree to give it a try. So, friends, like we saw on day one, these are the various reasons why people take it, and therefore the solutions are because people get addicted, we shouldn't be touching it even once. Peer pressure is high. We need to learn and teach others how to deal with peer pressure. Stress is there, but this is only temporary relief. We can learn healthier ways to deal with our stress. Though it is perceived to be normal, it is not normal to take an addictive poison. It is a status symbol, yes, but because it is glamorized by paying money to celebrities. There is nothing cool about taking them, and especially those of you who are regarded to be the smart boys and girls, I encourage you to take a stand and not take these substances. It will no longer be regarded as cool if you don't take it. There is curiosity and misconceptions, and therefore all of us need to together spread the right awareness, right? So let us together commit that let them do what they want to do, but together we will build a healthy and happy country. So would you like to take this oath along with me? So then I assume the answer is yes. So then we can go through the oath. Let's go through the oath. So when you're doing an online thing, you may say, okay, I will say it, and you can keep the mics off and you can just say it over there. So there is not too much echo. Okay. Yeah. Or let us just keep the mics off and say it simultaneously along with me over there. I am a responsible citizen of India. My life is precious. I will use my youth to learn new skills and to make my dreams come true. I will enjoy life through sports, music, meditation, and other constructive means. I want to become a reason for joy and pride for my family, not the cause of their sadness and suffering. Hence, I decide to never touch addictive poisons like pan masala, alcohol, ganja, tobacco, etc. I understand that my health is my biggest wealth and I will not hit the X on my own leg. Jai Hind. These are some interesting websites you can go through for knowing more. I will forward the PPT to your teacher. She will send this to you. And these are some helpline numbers. If someone wants to quit alcohol, they can call on these numbers. And these are our social media handles. You can follow us. We keep sharing some interesting material on various mental health issues from time to time. Thank you for being such an attentive and lovely audience.
Very interesting. Very nice.
Okay, thank you.
That
Good.
you know,
Hmm?
shall I?
Yes,
Can I? Okay.
yes.
That your slide with once you were saying the student learning to say no. I had a grandnephew who was in just say third